Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife review for you. Today we have the Gerber Flatiron. This is a knife that I was not fully expecting to review. I saw it at Blade Show and I thought, oh, cool, Gerber's doing something different. It's not your typical Gerber. It's kind of following real, knife guy trends. It's a cleaver. The folding cleavers are super popular right now. It was cool to see them grasping onto a popular, kind of thing and trying to do something cool like that. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of interested in it. And then I kind of forgot and never even watched any reviews of it or anything like that. And then today I was at a Dick's Sporting Goods. By the way, Dick's Sporting Goods is 3 words. You have to say the whole thing. It is a large chain. It's in a lot of places. But don't say I went to Dick's. There can be some confusion. Say Dick's Sporting Goods. Say the whole thing. Do not go to Dicks.com. It's not the same. They did not get that URL. Don't go there. But enough about Dick's Sporting Goods. But I was there. I was buying some stuff and for Christmas gifts and stuff. And when I went to go check out, they said, "Oh, you have a whole lot of the scorecard points or whatever." And I had some money I could spend. And so I went upstairs. Yes, my town does have a big Dick's. I'm sorry, but the last joke I can make. But yeah, it's a 2-story store. So I went upstairs, looked at the knives and stuff, found this. Thought, oh yeah, I did want to try that out, and it was basically free. There's nothing else I wanted to buy there, so I got it. $34.95 at the store was the price they had there. They're $28.95 online. But yeah, it was worth a shot to review, and I'm kind of glad I did. It is kind of a neat little knife. You're getting aluminum handles, stainless steel frame lock. 7 CR, 17 MOV steel, so definitely nothing to write home about. Gerber does use a lot of it. I did Google before I did this review. Just Gerber, 7 CR, 17 MOV. General consensus is they do a pretty good job with it. The general consensus is it's better than some companies' 8 CR, 13 MOV, which is nothing to write home about. I'll be honest, and then it's worse than some others. So. I found it to be okay. We'll talk about more in the blade, but it's been okay steel wise. But yeah, $28.95. Let's do some stats and some size comparisons before we get too much farther. We have an overall length of 8.4 inches, pretty good size knife. A blade length of Gerber claims 3.5 inches. I measured just a tick more than that. I think it would be one of those don't piss the cop off kind of situations. If you live in a place that has a 3.5 inch limit, they might be able to nail you on it, but I don't know. It's really close to it, and it could be the grind. Who knows? It's that close. You have a blade thickness of pretty thick 0.15 inch blade stock, which is not surprising for these big cleavers. Most of them are like that. You have a 0.43 inch handle stock, though, which is nice. It's very, very thin, and a weight of 5.6 ounces. So this isn't a lightweight, but it's not a tank for being a pretty big stainless steel frame lock. I don't think that's bad at all. Size comparisons, we will compare it to another kind of budget knife. You have your Ontario Rat Model 1 and D2. Very similar overall length to that. Another knife that I think we're going to start putting in our standards. I keep saying that, so I guess I am. Your Kershaw Bare Knuckle. It's easy to use for standards because it's usually in my pocket. You can see it's about the same as that. Pretty close. We will use a couple of our regulars here. Have your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And lastly, I'll do your Benchmade 940. It's quite a bit bigger than a 940. So it's a pretty good sized knife. Now, let's talk about the design here. Like I said, I like the looks of it. I think it looks pretty cool. One thing I really do like about it is all the stonewash on the show side matches. I really like that. It's just a tiny thing, but every bit of hardware except the screws is stonewashed in the exact same heavy stonewash pattern, and it looks good, and I just think that's really nice. They call this color black. I don't know. It looks kind of brown to me. It looks like a very, very dark brown. And you'll see it in some of the photos online. It looks even more brown. But yeah, I like it, though. It's a cool color. I just don't think it's black. I will say there's an odd thing design-wise to this. This is the, see the model number on there, if you can read it, against the Stonewash, 46604418A. A couple guys have ordered these and gotten a B model. The B model, instead of having this Hinderer-esque disc, has a much larger over travel stop, and the blade hole is moved farther down the blade. Other than that, they're the same. I think I would prefer this one, because with the blade hole moved farther down the blade, and this was in someone else's video, they said it makes it, when you try to slow roll it, you have to like stop and move. But I don't know what that's all about. But sites don't specify which one you're going to get. But yeah, you might want to ask if it's an A or a B, before you order it. Other than that, I don't know what to say about that. Quality-wise, this one came out pretty good. Blade centering's just a skosh off to the show side, not much. I think there's just lock bar pushing on it. It's not bad. The blade grind itself is very good. Lockup's a little bit late. You're looking at, guys, you got probably 60% lockup, 70% lockup there. Not ideal, but it's okay. Action on it's pretty good, as you saw. We'll get to that more later. But yeah, the quality's all right. It's not anything to write home about in 2018 when you're getting, $20 knives that have better quality, but not by much. The only thing I can really complain about is, and this is just aesthetic, it's not going to affect anything, on the quote-unquote tip, if you can call that, on a cleaver blade. It's a bit wonky. It's a bit cattywampus. You can see the grind there on the edge there. On the end is not the same. That's annoying. But you know what? I'm not going to freak out about it. It's okay. It's not awesome. It's I hate to say it, but it's Gerber. It's not bad for a Gerber. As far as this blade, I kind of like it. It's very thin behind the edge for how thick the blade stock is. It's, as I said, 0.15. It was about a 20 thousandths, 21 thousandths beyond the edge, and it's a nice hollow grind. It slices pretty darn good. It's not bad at all. And it held an edge tolerably okay. I cut enough cardboard to where I thought, okay, if this was 8CR, it would be dulling. And I checked it, and it was, but not dramatically more than I'd expect an 8CR to. And all I had to do was strop it a little bit. It took a strop supremely well. It's razor hair popping sharp again now, and it was out of the box, by the way. It was really sharp out of the box. It was very well out of the blister pack. It was very, very sharp, and it was easy to get back to it. So yeah, there's no tip at all, so we're not going to talk about stabbiness because it's a cleaver. It's a true cleaver. Yeah, I don't hate the blade steel. I mean, of course I wish it was better. I mean, this thing in D2 for like $50 and a little bit better, QC would be a great knife. Where this is, it's okay. Ergonomics are really good, which is another reason why I wish they'd make a nicer one. It's very, very comfortable in the hand. This kind of goofy looking clip, we'll talk about that more. There is no hotspot with it though, so it works that way. Move up, you can choke up on it, which I always like to be able to do that on a knife. I like finger choils, and it works well. It could maybe stand a little bit of jimping up here, but it doesn't really necessarily have to have it. But yeah, ergonomically, it's pretty darn good. Carry-wise, it carries fine once you have it in the pocket. This oddball clip came really tight, and then there's hardly any ramp whatsoever. So I did bend it up a little bit, and now it works fine. But once it's in the pocket, it carries pretty darn good. For its size, for being a big, tall knife like this, it carries much better than I expected. But yeah, I had to tweak the clip a bit. But you know what? I have to do that on expensive knives sometimes too, so that's okay. Deployment, mine works pretty good. Runs on phosphor bronze washers. Yeah, it works pretty good. You can spidey flick it. There's no flipper tab. It's just thumb hole deployment. Works all right. Detent's pretty good. Can't shake it out. All those things. I was going to tear it apart and polish the washers and get it even better, but I can't. That kind of brings us to a conclusion. Now I probably could, but they Loctited the hell out of that pivot, and I started to turn it, and I could feel I was going to strip the screw. And you know what? This knife isn't worth me going through and putting a soldering iron in it and all that stuff, to get it apart. And I didn't even try the the T6s. It's a T8 when the rest is T6. I didn't even try those, so it wasn't worth my time. But overall, I gotta say, it is a pretty cool knife. And what's nice about knives like this, what I think for the rest of us, is this hangs on a rack in a sporting goods store. I know they have it at Dick's Sporting Goods. I know they have it at Field and Stream and places like that. And it's as a gateway knife, it's pretty good. I could totally see you getting this, and you Google it, and then you see there are some reviews of it, and then you start looking at other people's reviews, and not just YouTube, but just online in general, and it might lead you to buy, get into the hobby and getting better stuff. And I think it's perfectly fine for that. I think it's all right gift knife, because non-knife people know the Gerber name, and they think better of it than perhaps they should. But yeah. It's a cool knife, and I am very glad to see Gerber moving in this direction of doing cooler stuff. Just that's great. I hope they continue to do that and do a good job of it, and make us knife guys want them again. I'd love if Gerber made something awesome that we could all just rave about and brag about. This is close, but there's a few flaws with it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.